what's up, bro? Welcome back to another video. Today we watching some more scary animated stories because apparently y'all love these. I love them too, they funny. Anyway, hope you're having a wonderful day, an amazing night, and an awesome week. Let's get right into the video. I just ate my breakfast. I just woke up. It's like 11 a.m. I'm waking up pretty late. At first I woke up at like 5 and then I fell back to sleep. And then I woke back up at like 9 and then I fell back to sleep. And then I ate some breakfast for a little bit. And now I'm here. Anyway, let's get into the video. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed the video. And yeah, let's do it. What do you think if I started an ASMR channel? Would y'all fuck with that? Would y'all mess with the ASMR channels? I like eat my food, and like tap on things like this. I don't think you can hear it. Anyway.
It's funny how desperation makes you take what you can get, even if it's the worst.
What?
The moment I stepped out of prison after 7 years, it felt like the world had moved.
For 7 years in prison? I ain't gonna lie, bro. I know I'm stopping mad early, like not even like 10 seconds into the video. But look, if someone told me I gotta go to jail, this is why I can't be in no gang, bro. If someone say I gotta go to jail for somebody, I'm snitching. I'm telling on everybody, bro. Everybody business. Cause I'm not going in that hole. I'm not going to prison for somebody else. I'm not going to prison for anything. If the police mix me up, I'm gonna do everything in my power to find the nigga they looking for, bro. Cause it ain't me. I don't do illegal things. I do things by the book. Hey, call me a square. I don't care. Hey, that's just my life. That's literally my life, bro. I'm not doing it.
My identity was stained, associated with theft, vandalism, and crime. The only luxury I was left was my old jalopy and sausage sandwiches.
What did you do?
When I found the ad for a job as a housekeeper in Caroline's villa, I didn't think twice. No more sleazy part-time jobs at Hooters.
Oh no!
No more drunken
What?
creeps treating me
Who's
like crap.
that?
I just wanted something to keep me off the streets. The interview was unsettling.
It's a creepy old man, ain't it?
The lady of the house, was a 75-year-old widow. From the second I saw her, something felt wrong. Her smile stretched too far, like it didn't belong on her face. Her eyes darted around.
Why are you playing it, bro? Get this off my screen.
Without warning, she let out this soft, eerie giggle that sent a chill down my spine. I caught her lips moving, whispering to herself, too quiet to make out. My gut screamed at me to leave, but I needed this job.
There's not much to do. Just clean and help look after my son Judas.
She said.
Judas? That sounds like one of the demons.
Resting. My daughter Dahlia likes to keep to herself.
Caroline's laugh filled the room, a high-pitched, eerie sound that made my skin crawl.
Dahlia's a good girl.
Oh.
Quiet though.
Okay.
She doesn't talk much.
What's she slammed the door for?
Despite the weird vibes, I took the job. What else was I gonna do? Sleep in my car forever? I packed up my few belongings and moved in the next morning. The house was huge, but not in the grand, cozy way you'd expect. No, it was dark and musty, and every corner felt like somebody's gonna jump out at you. Caroline showed me to my attic room.
You'll start tomorrow.
Caroline said, grinning again.
There's only one rule. Never step outside your room past midnight.
The attic door
What you do past midnight, bro?
And I was alone with my thoughts and a mess outside. The world stuck with me as I lay down. I didn't sleep well. The sound of wind scraping against the old windows, mixed with the faint hum of whispers from below, kept me on edge. By morning, I was
you need some melatonin, bro.
Decision. Ignoring everything, I started cleaning. The house was a disaster. Caroline and Dahlia lived like they had 5 lives. The filth.
What about Judas?
The roof. Dirty towels everywhere. Dishes crusted with old food. The bathroom was a horror of its own.
I wouldn't even step in there.
Judas's room. He was in a coma, she'd said. So when I walked in, I wasn't expecting the stench of bleach to burn my nose. His room was spotless, like a hospital ward, but the air was thick with chemicals. Judas lay motionless on the bed, pale and sickly. For a moment, I could swear he wasn't breathing at all, but the beeping of the heart monitor reassured me. By nightfall, I was exhausted and passed out the moment I fell on the bed. It had to be around 1 a.m. when it happened. An
Why her
ear-piercing
chest-
scream smacked me right out of bed.
Why she breathing
My
like
heart
that?
nearly fell off my mouth when the screams came again, sharp and desperate. Without thinking, I grabbed my flashlight
Oh, she
and
walking
bolted
past midnight.
downstairs. My steps halted outside of Judas's room. The door was slightly open, and his bed was empty. The heart monitor was off.
no.
The sheets were rumpled, but there was no sign of Judas. My breath
What is he
caught my
doing?
throat. Could he have woken up? Could someone in a coma just get up? A low
No.
guttural chant echoed from the basement. My
What was
feet
that?
moved on their own, carrying me towards the sound. I should have turned around. I should have run out of that house and never looked back.
You should air it out. You
But I
should shoot
couldn't.
everybody in there.
My legs had grown a mind of their own. I crept down the stairs, one slow step after another, until I reached the basement door. It was
You should
dark,
shoot everybody.
and an eerie orange light flickered from within. The scene inside had me frozen. Caroline was hunched over a
What
wooden
is she
plank,
doing?
her hands hovering over Judas's
And bro,
still body.
I told you, bro,
The
it's one of
guy
the demons.
wasn't in a coma. He was gone. Gray
I told
skin,
you.
lips
One of the
sunken,
demons, bro. One of the
eyes half
demons, bro.
open. It wasn't Judas, but his corpse. And beside Caroline, Dahlia stood shivering like a leaf. Her eyes were wide with terror.
What the hell are you doing?
I yelled, not knowing it could be my worst mistake. Caroline's head snapped up, her eyes wild. The woman was possessed.
Be quiet. I'm bringing him back.
She screamed.
Bro, he
Next,
was
I
dead. Oh,
thrown
damn.
backward, crashing into a
Fight,
shelf
fight,
as
fight.
Caroline
Shoot her,
wrapped
shoot
her
her.
claws around
Shoot
my
her.
neck.
And
White
stab her in the
spots
throat.
danced in my vision.
I was gonna
but
say
just
throat,
before
but
a
stomach.
complete
I don't know.
blackout could take over, Dahlia somehow swung a heavy
Ooh.
candlestick square at her mother. Caroline collapsed, unconscious. Dahlia dropped to her knees, sobbing uncontrollably.
This whole
Try to
family messed
stop
up.
her.
She whispered, her voice trembling.
Judas died 5 days ago. He
What?
fell down the stairs.
What?
Humma, she wouldn't accept it. She
How was
said the practice could bring him back.
How was the
Line
heart
rose in my
monitor
throat
going?
As the realization hit hard. The smell, the bleach, the chemicals. It all made sense now. Caroline had been clinging to her son. We immediately rang the cops, but I was already gone before they arrived. I didn't wait for explanations. Didn't want to hear them.
Saves.
As I drove away, my eyes glued to the rearview mirror. I half expected to see Caroline's deranged face grinning back at me. But
What
there was
about the
only
daughter?
darkness. I could be free from that house, but I would never be free of its dreadful memory.
What about the daughter? You just left the little girl there? That's crazy. You just
I was
left the little
thrilled
girl
to
there.
start my new
Oh, my
job
bad,
at
yo.
Whitlock and Associates, a quaint accounting firm nestled in an old brick building downtown. The office had a vintage charm. My desk was by one of those grand windows, and directly across from me sat a woman with long, dark hair that cascaded over her face. She glanced up briefly as I settled in, offering a slight nod before returning to her work. I smiled.
Hi, I'm Emma. Nice to meet you.
I just got a crazy
She
text.
didn't
Oh
respond,
my god.
her pen moving furiously over a notepad.
She need to go to
The
sleep.
scratching sound was relentless, almost aggressive. I shrugged it off, assuming she was engrossed in something important. As the morning wore on,
No, she needs to go to
I
sleep,
couldn't help
bro.
but noticed her intense focus. Pages filled up rapidly, each one covered in what looked like haphazard scribbles. Curiosity gnawed at me. At one point, I tried
Why
to
the
peek
animation
at
was
what
so
she was
good?
writing, but she immediately slapped her hand over the page, eyes still hidden behind her hair. During lunch break, I joined a few colleagues in the break room and caught a smoke with Lily.
So, the woman who sits across from me, does she ever join you guys for lunch?
She gave me a puzzled look.
Who do you mean?
Ooh.
The woman with long dark hair,
Ooh,
always
they
writing
like,
in her notepad.
they like, bro,
She
you tripping.
chuckled nervously.
Must be one of the auditors from upstairs. They don't gel.
Back at my desk, she was still there, pen scratching away. She didn't eat, didn't stretch, didn't even shift in her seat. The pile of
You
filled
seen a
pages
ghost.
was now spilling onto the floor.
You not seeing you seeing a
No.
ghost.
It's okay to take a break sometimes.
You finna get stabbed in the neck.
I returned to my work, but the incessant scratching was
She finna
maddening.
go. She might.
I slipped on my headphones to drown it out.
Oh no.
Later, needing a respite,
Get you some
I
Sonys,
decided
bro.
to get some coffee. As I stood
Not
up,
sponsored,
I
by the
glanced
way.
at her. She was perfectly still, except for her hand. The way she wrote was almost mechanical, repetitive. In the hallway, I bumped into Mark, one of the IT guys.
Hey, do you know if there's a problem with the heating? It's freezing by my desk.
Mark raised an eyebrow. Haven't heard any complaints. I'll check the thermostat.
You seeing a ghost?
Back at my
She
desk,
seeing a
the temperature
ghost.
seemed to
I
have
told
dropped
you, bro.
even more. I rubbed my hands together, glancing at the thermostat on the wall. It read a normal 72 degrees.
That's
The
freezing.
afternoon
What?
sun cast reflections on the window behind my colleague. I noticed something odd. Her reflection didn't match her movements. While she wrote feverishly, her reflection sat eerily still, head slowly turning to face me. My breath caught in my throat. I blinked hard. When I looked again, her reflection matched her actions. As the day neared its
You
end, most of
bugging.
the office began to pack up.
Hey, we're all heading out soon. Do you need any help with anything?
She stopped writing. Slowly, she lifted her head, but her face was still obscured by hair. A whisper reached my ears, so faint I wasn't sure I heard it.
They can't see me.
A chill ran down my spine.
Excuse me?
She resumed writing, even more frantically than before. The
You
lights
gotta
above
shoot her.
flickered. I looked
You gotta
around.
shoot her.
The rest of the
That's the
office
only
seemed
solution to the
unaffected.
issue, bro.
Gathering my belongings, I hurried to leave. As I exited, I glanced back. She was watching me, her face partially visible.
You gotta shoot her.
Her eyes were dark, sunken, filled with an emotion I couldn't place. I couldn't shake the feeling that something was terribly wrong. The next day, I arrived to find a sticky note on my monitor. See me in my office, Mr.
Uh-oh.
Thompson.
She
Great.
getting
Was
fired.
I
That's
already in
crazy.
trouble?
How you
In
getting
his
fired on your
office,
first day?
Mr. Thompson gave me a concerned look. Emma, is everything all right? Some of your colleagues mentioned you seemed distracted.
I'm fine.
He nodded slowly. Let us know if you need anything. Back at my desk, the woman was
I told you it was a
absent.
ghost.
Relief washed over me. Maybe she'd taken the day off. Hours passed and she didn't show. As I focused on a particularly tedious spreadsheet, the overhead lights flickered again. The screen glitched, lines of random
Go
numbers
home.
and symbols replacing my data.
Go
Frustrated,
home.
I called IT. Mark arrived, frowning at the monitor. That's odd. Looks like some kind of data corruption. As he worked, I noticed a reflection in the darkened part of the screen. Behind me stood the woman, her face inches from mine. I spun around, but no one was there.
Did you
I wouldn't
see
even
that?
reacted for real, bro.
Mark denied. He gave me a sympathetic smile.
Now you just sound
Take care
crazy to
of
everybody,
yourself,
bro.
okay?
Look. That's her issue, bro. After the person would have said they can't see me, I'd have been like, okay. And then that would have been just like locked into my head. I want to be talking to ask people like, did you see that? Did you see that? What's going on? Bro, now you just sound crazy. That's why you got the sticky note on your computer. Look at the notepad still there. That's crazy.
By late afternoon, the office was nearly empty. I decided to investigate. I approached
Damn,
the
she
desk.
fast.
The notepad was there, covered in frantic handwriting. I hesitated, then picked it up. The pages were filled with a single phrase repeated over
They
and
don't see.
over.
They don't see. They don't see.
see. They don't see. A sudden cold enveloped me.
You see me.
I whipped around. She stood directly in front of me, hair no longer hiding her face.
You gotta
Her
fake
skin
that
was
off.
pale, almost
You gotta fake that off,
translucent,
bro.
Eyes hollow and
You
filled
just gotta
with
walk past
despair.
her.
I was like you.
My bad. Let me turn on captions. I'm over here screaming over the video.
What happened?
Tears streamed down her cheeks.
They pushed me too hard. They don't see. They don't see.
The room darkened. The office lights burst, plunging the room into darkness. I stumbled back, tripping over a chair. When I looked up, she was gone. Emergency lights flickered on. I couldn't move. Days later, after taking time off, I returned to collect my things. I couldn't stay there. As I packed up, I found a small envelope on my desk. Inside was a faded photograph of the woman, smiling, surrounded by people at an office party. On the back, a name was scrawled.
Helen Brooks.
I approached Mr. Thompson.
Mr. Thompson, what happened to Helen Brooks?
He
They're
stiffened,
like-
eyes narrowing. Where did you hear that name? I
She
showed
must
him
have.
the
She must have
photo.
did something to
He
herself at the
sighed
office.
heavily. Helen was an employee here. She left us some time ago.
Why did no one mention her?
She jumped from the window where you sit after she was denied a deserved promotion.
Are you withholding that type of information from me? Ooh, I'm calling the police on you. Ooh, I'm calling the police on you. There's no way you refuse to tell me that a lady jumped out of the window where I sit at. No, bro.
Different
No,
manager
bro.
then. She kept
No, bro,
saying
you're getting
they
shot.
don't see me. It's not something we discuss. As I left the building, I glanced back at the window by my desk. For a moment, I thought I saw her standing there, watching. Then, she faded, like a shadow in the sunlight. I never saw her again. Maybe she felt like someone saw her, and she finally found peace.
Yeah, you know what? Maybe that's only the second story. Oh my god,
All
this is deep.
desperation accompanied me, and I could think of nothing else to do. When I noticed the ads for a secretary, I took it. It was quite a normal advertisement. An elderly woman required a secretary to answer on many kinds of tasks, sounding simple, which at that point
That's the
I took
person.
my life for all that simpler. Mrs. Thorne, the elderly lady, replied promptly to my application and asked me to come over to her place for my first day at work. Her address led me to an old sprawling house on the outskirts of town. It had a creepy charm to it, but I declined paying heed to the uneasy feelings creeping up my spine. This was my chance to put my life back on track. When Mrs. Thorne opened the door, she warmly invited me in. She was frail and sharp-eyed, seeming to see right through me.
Would you like some tea before we begin?
She asked, her voice as creaky as the floorboards under my feet. And to make a good impression, I agreed. I remembered the bitter taste of the tea. It was warm yet cold simultaneously.
You need a
As I
haircut.
continued drinking, my sight became blurry, my body limp.
You just got
And this
drugged by
is
an
what
old
I
lady.
remember
Oh my
last,
god.
Mrs. Thorne's wicked smile.
You just got
It was
drugged by an
no
old
dawn,
lady.
Yet my eyes snapped open to find
Oh
myself
my God.
lying in a musty, dimly lit basement where chains bit deep into my wrists. The air inside was icy, damp, without a sound other than the drip of water far away, echoing from some other
Yo,
room.
you just got
Panic
kidnapped, bro.
overwhelmed
This why.
me as I strained against the chains.
That's why I keep a
which
gun on
did
me,
not
bro.
budge an inch. Mrs. Thorne.
Oh my
stepped
God, look at
into
her
view
face.
At the top of the stairs as she slowly descended them, an eerily tranquil movement.
Welcome back, dear.
Don't bug
She
on me
said,
back.
her voice
I'll
chillingly
slap her in,
serene.
bro.
What's all this? Why am I... You have a task to complete.
She handed me a set of tools and some wooden boards.
Build your coffin.
She
What?
commanded. My eyes snapped open in horror. I shrieked for help.
Are you insane?
I
Let
dare
me
some.
go right now.
I dare somebody to kidnap me and tell me build my coffin. Son, this is your coffin, bro. Because as soon as I break out of these chains, I'm choke you Hitman 47 style, bro. No way. That's crazy.
Mrs. Thorne only laughed.
Look at her long ass neck, bro.
See that on your leg?
Then pointed to my ankle. An odd device. A bangle-like thing was attached to my right ankle. I watched Mrs. Thorne taking
She
out a
finna
small
electrocute her
remote
ass.
and pressing a red button on it. Electricity surged through my body. I convulsed and barely could keep myself
Dead.
from crying out.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. My bad. I know I'm pausing too much at the end of the video, but like that wouldn't phase me, bro. I stuff it. I'll be like, I'm sticking right now. I don't think y'all know that reference, bro, but I'm gonna put it. But I'm sticking right now. I'm sticking right now. I'm sticking right now. Oh my god.
Now, are you going to do as I say?
She asked, her eyes glinting with malevolent glee. I nodded, shuddering in agony. I began hammering the coffin together as my brain twisted and contorted for an escape. As Mrs. Thorne spoke
She's sitting there.
fantasies to me while laboring,
She's
I
just
found
sitting
out
here.
she wanted to have buried a person alive, and then all her life listened to the screams. Her voice dripped with sadistic pleasure, and I knew I wasn't her first victim, but I vowed to be the last. Mrs. Thorne didn't know anything about my dark past.
Wait. She hit her, and bro, I'm tomahawking that hammer at her head like it's Black Ops 2, bro. Yeah, right in the noggin, bro. Knock
to a
her out.
secret hitman agency in Mexico. Wanting to start fresh brought me back to the States. My
What?
stealth and
Wait, what did you just say? What did you just? Go back.
Thorn didn't know anything about my dark past. I had worked for a secret hitman agency in Mexico. Wanting
You work for a secret hitman agency in Mexico. You don't know you're finna get kidnapped by some old lady asking for like what?
to start fresh brought me back to the States. My stealth and combat skills weren't, however, on par with the point at which the agency was paying. I meant to use them as my ticket through this nightmare. As I knelt to set the coffin upright,
Oh, she built
loosening the
that.
gear on my ankle with the screwdriver dangling from my hip was merely an automatic act. Every motion was swift and controlled, the byproduct of the years of discipline. Mrs. Thorne remained oblivious to my intentions as she basked in
No,
her
she's hid, bro.
sadistic
Why she kinda look like
fantasy.
Dia?
Finally, I released the anklet. With a jerky motion, I flung myself at Mrs. Thorne, knocking her down to the floor.
Dang.
Although thin and fragile, she seemed to exert untold strength and struggling. My greater strength, in the end, won. I strapped the device to her wrist and grasped the remote.
Now, you shall obey me.
I hissed through icy arrogance. From then onwards, tables turned. Mrs. Thorne became afraid and was bound to follow my orders. For the next 3 days, I forced her to write a will, where she left all her properties to me.
Yo, what? That's crazy.
Next 3 months straight, I played the good secretary. The neighbors got used to my kind disposition toward the elderly Mrs. Thorne.
That's
I ensured
crazy.
That everyone
What?
had my side as the dutiful caretaker of that
Bro,
old granny.
You're the
3
nightmare.
months, Mrs. Thorne laid like a broccoli around the house. And then one fine day, I put Mrs. Thorne into a wheelchair and placed her above the stairs. She knew the end and begged for her life. With a cold,
Yo.
emotionless expression, I hit the button on the remote. Mrs. Thorne convulsed in anguish as her convulsive movements rolled the wheelchair over. She fell down the stairs, her neck snapping with a grotesque crack. The death was ruled an accident. That was when the lawyer finally called me and told me that Mrs. Thorne had willed everything to me. I pretended to cry and told him how sorry I was and that she was close to me. I demanded some kind of memorial and funeral should be done to pay respects to the dead owner. During the funeral, I made Mrs. Thorne lie in that coffin which I had built under compulsion. As the coffin was lowered into the grave, I sat there and looked at it. My face was unreadable since I had survived and had ensured the future generations would not have to pass through what I did. But for sure, the
She
darkness of my
tough.
past and what I went through will forever be seen as marks against my soul.
Yo, she tough. What? 25 stories is crazy. That's 2 hours. Sheesh, bro. That's a full feature film right there. Huh. Anyway, yo, bro, if you enjoyed that video, bro, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Okay. And I'll see you next time, bro. Have a great day, an awesome week, and an amazing night. It's Monday right now. Have a great week. Have a especially great week, bro. And I'll see you next time. Make sure you like, comment. Did I say it already? I think I already said that. Anyway, bro, peace out.